the broader energy industry and key consuming sectors to be a brand new chapter, to begin a brand new chapter of Ceraweek, the Ceraweek India Energy Forum. India will remain one of the fastest growing energy markets in the world.
India has really become so crucial in the world energy scene.
India is definitely very important for us. It's an important market. Also, the growth that we are seeing in this market is significant.
Hello and welcome to this very special show from Ceraweek India, where you have the biggest of voices from the international and the Indian markets, which matters in oil and gas as a sector. Well, we have seen a lot of things being discussed, right from policies, Indian demand, the importance of India in the global market, and also the fact that there are a lot of international players now interested in India to invest, to create JVs, to have strategic partnerships, etc. So the challenges, the expectation in sense of Indian technology, infrastructure, capital, etc., when it comes to the Indian oil and gas industry is something that all of these key players are looking at. Well, I have caught up with Saudi Aramco's Amin Nasser to start with on his expectations on India, his IPO, etc. Let's listen in.
India is definitely very important for us. It's an important market. Also, the growth that we are seeing in this market is significant. We have seen 8% growth in the energy consumption in India last year in 2006, compared to a world average of 1.5%.
Right.
So the growth and the potential of growth, I mentioned today that it's a market going from about 4.6, 4.7 million barrels per day to 10 million barrels per day by 2040. So chemical also there is significant growth in the chemical industry in India, so it is an important market you cannot miss.
So what kind of investments are you looking to make in India? I mean, there are various reports on perhaps a JV is incoming, there are strategic partnerships. What kind of investments and how much are you looking to spend here?
The size of the investment will come with the type of investment we decide on.
Sure.
But definitely we're looking at something that is integrated from we're talking about refining, petrochemical, marketing, distribution, including loops. So we are looking at something that is what we call it very integrated with our oil supply, going through the downstream and going through down the value chain. So we are open, we are discussing with so many partners in India currently. Each has a different plan. And we are currently in discussion with all of them about, and hopefully we'll land on something soon.
We look forward to that, sir. Also, you have been making investments in the other parts of the world as well. So is there a strategy that you have in mind, you know, when you're making those investments?
Of course, our strategy for depends on the geography, and we make sure it's a balanced, our portfolio is balanced globally. So if you look at our investment mostly, for example, Korea is an important market, China is an important market, we have investment there, Japan is an important market, and we have investment there. We still do not have an investment in India. Of course, the US is also an important market, and we have a mega refinery. One of the biggest refinery in the US is Motiva, and it is owned 100% by Saudi Aramco. So in all of these markets, which are connected to our crude supply, we have an investment, and we are trying to grow also this market currently. But India is where we are doing a lot of work right now to establish also some footprint.
So when it comes to India, where do you see the major requirement of investment? Is it going to be infrastructure? Is it going to be technology? Is it going to be conservation, collecting, making reserves of crude oil? Where do you see that requirement?
Yeah, all of that. First, we're looking, as I said, at an integrated complex that we'd like to invest on. Technology is a very important area for us, considering the talents in India and intellectual capacity. It is very impressive, and it calls for an investment in technology. We do have globally 8 centers in different countries, in addition to our technology center in the kingdom. We are considering a center also in India, so our team will be visiting and looking at the options available. In the storage facility also, we are looking at storage facility in India, and we are in discussion also with storage facility. So all of what you said, we have interest, and we are looking at making progress in the discussion.
So I also want to talk about the Saudi Aramco IPO, because that has a very keen interest from all over the world. If you could tell us on how much are you looking to raise, is there a timeline for that, and what are the kind of valuations we're looking here?
Well, all I can say about the IPO that it is on track for 2018, and that was the original plan, and it is still the same. Nothing changed about it.
That is good to know. We of course will keep an eye on that. But just coming back to India yet again, and while we are of course talking about strong growth demand going forward from here as well, what is your sense on all of this debate and upsurge of electric vehicles, and do you see that displacing that demand in any sense?
And we think, yes, definitely electric vehicles will grow and in the future, and we are seeing significant growth, that's no doubt. However, there is oil will be there for decades. As we have seen today, this year, the second quarter, almost 1.7 million barrels of demand. Earlier in the year, first quarter, we were looking at 1.3. Second quarter was 1.7. So there is healthy demand in the crude oil. So it is a sector that we are seeing more and more demand for it. Add to that, there is a natural decline in existing fields, and talking about something in the neighborhood of 5%. So that is also significant and require a lot of investment. So electric vehicles will be taking part of energy requirement. But we always say, if you look at the light transport vehicles, they consume 20 to 25% of the total consumption. But there is the heavy-duty vehicles, there is the shipping, there is the aviation, there is the petrochemical. So there is crude to chemical is coming now to the with hopefully you will see more and more projects with crude to chemical, and that will also take some of the consumption. So we need to continue. We talked today about earlier in the forum about lack of investment in the industry, that because of the drop in the crude oil, and I think that is a concern because we need to continue our projects, especially the mega project, take 5 to 7 years to bring them to stream. And these investments should happen, and should happen now, to take care of the additional demand and to offset the natural decline. Unfortunately, we don't see enough investment going in the sector, which will impact the long-term supply balance equilibrium.
So my final question to you, since you are investing in India, you have been meeting the key people, the ministers as well. Where do you see, you've talked about the opportunity here, of course. Is there a challenge that you see when you're entering the Indian markets?
I think there are so many groups that you have to discuss with them. We are appreciative of deregulation that happened in the market. This is a step in the right direction. It makes it more, the deregulation also make it more playing fields for all companies, and will increase competitions, will bring more to the market, which is important. So we see a lot of positive signs in the Indian markets. Most important, as I said, we are seeing the growth. So there is a growth, there is deregulation that is happening. There is a lot of interest at all levels from the government. We had a meeting today with the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, with the industry leaders, and he listens to all about issues facing the industry. He followed up on what happened last year. And the corrective actions that were done to as a result of the forum that happened last year and the meeting that he conducted with the industry leader last year. The same thing happened this year, and close attention to bring additional foreign direct investment to India, and it is part of
in the sector.
new India. And I think what we are seeing also, Make in India, is will bring a lot of industrialization, and these are all positive steps. The vision New India, which has some similarity to Vision 2030 in the kingdom about prosperity, bringing growth and industrialization and employment, all of these things. And then all of these positive signs will bring more companies to the sector to collaborate with partners in India. So the environment is getting much and much better.
And positive. This is your first visit to India. How soon do we see you the next time?
Very soon, very soon. I like what I've seen so far.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nasser. Thank you so much for having this conversation with us.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Well, that was Saudi Aramco detailing their interest in India and, of course, giving you information about their IPO, which is on track. But after this very short break, we will also have Dr. Daniel Yergin of IHS Markets laying out the global trends in sense of oil and gas.